Hi everyone, Anjita this side. Welcome back to AB Automation Hub. In today's video, I'm going to talk about one of the exciting features introduced by Cypress, which is cy.prompt. So cy.prompt is a revolutionary Cypress command which lets you write your test in simple plain English and converts them into Cypress runnable test. So with this, you don't have to worry about locators. You don't have to worry about the correct syntax of the test case or using the Cypress commands. It automatically converts your plain English test into an executable Cypress test. So the beauty of cy.prompt is its flexibility. You have two options or basically two workflows which you can use in your project as per your need. The first workflow is where you use it as a code generator, write your prompt, generate the Cypress code, and commit that code into a repository. This gives you a predictability and fast execution. Or the second workflow is where you keep cy.prompt running continuously in your test. This enables self-healing capabilities. That means your test automatically adapts whenever there is any change in the future attempt, which reduces the maintenance overhead. So with cy.prompt, not only QAs, but your product managers or anyone who is non-technical can also contribute to your test. Now that you know what is cy.prompt, let's understand the steps which happens in the background. When you use cy.prompt and when it converts your simple English test into a Cypress test, there are 5 steps which happen in the backend. So let's understand them step by step. So here is a 5-step process. First one is it interprets the prompt. Basically, AI passes the natural language intent and then Cypress sends each step into an AI model. Second one is generate the selectors. The third is it generates the Cypress code, and then after this we have intelligent caching and self-healing. Now let's understand all this 5-step process in detail. So like I said, first one is interpret the prompt. So in this what happens? So when you call cy.prompt with your natural language step, Cypress sends each step into an AI model. So the AI over here parse your intent. For example, click the login button. It understands, it actions, and then it finds that button and then the identifier over here. So it understands what you want to find a button element and perform an action on it. The next step is generate the selectors. So here's where it gets interesting. Basically, Cypress evaluates your application storm in real time and picks the best selector for the target element. Here it follows priority rules, preferring the unique identifiers that are likely to remain stable over time. This might be a test data attribute like an ID or a combination of attributes that uniquely identifies your element. The next step is generate the Cypress code. AI generates actual Cypress commands like cy.get, .type, .click and executes them in sequence. So you will see both natural language step and the generated Cypress command in the command log. So the transparency is basically very important for the debugging and understanding what is happening in the backend. It's not only you will only see the natural language which we have used, it will also show you the Cypress commands which are used for performing that action. The next step is intelligent caching. This is one of the highlights for performance. The generated code is cached. So this means when you rerun the same test, Cypress does not need to call the AI model unless your prompt changes or the DOM structure change significantly. This makes subsequent tests run much faster. So this is super helpful and very important and a game-changing feature over here. Now the last step is self-healing capability. If a cache selector fails, maybe because an element was renamed or let's say the attributes changed or DOM structure was modified, Cypress automatically generates the code for that specific step. So this happens transparently on future test runs, keeping your test functional without you changing it. So this 5-step process is what makes cy.prompt both powerful and practical. The AI handles the complexity while you focus on describing what your tests do, not how to do it. Now we have understood what is cy.prompt, how does it work, what are the multiple workflows it support. Now it's time for a demo. Now let's see how to configure it in our test case. So first thing first, it works with only Cypress Cloud. That means you need to have an account on Cypress Cloud. So Cypress Cloud provisions both free account as well as the paid one. So you can check whichever works for your project, whichever works for your team, you can go for it. For the demo purpose, I have the free version, so I have already configured it. For the configuration, you can watch my other video on how to configure Cypress dashboard. So here I have created a project, and inside that I already have my project ID and record ID. And similar thing, I have configured it in my Cypress project also. Once you have created a Cypress Cloud account, what you have to do, you have to go to your cypress.config.js and add this statement. Experimental prompt command true. Make sure this is added in your cypress.config.js. This is second thing. And also make sure you are using the updated version of Cypress because cy.prompt is introduced in Cypress version 15.4. So if you are on version 14 or using version prior to 15.4, then you won't be able to use cy.prompt. So make sure all the configurations are done. So what we are going to do, we have the sample website, which is this Swag Labs, in which we have username, password, and a login button. So with the traditional Cypress test, what we do, we write cy.visit, navigate to this web page. We use cy.get to find the locator for this username, and we use .type to enter the text, and then we use .click to click on this login button. These are the steps which we use with the traditional Cypress test. But now with cy.prompt, what we will do? We will just write our test in simple plain English. Let's see a quick demo. This is the sample script using cy.prompt. So here, if you notice, I have not used cy.get, I have not used cy.visit, and I have not used .click. Instead, I am using plain simple English inside my cy.prompt. So first statement I have written, open this URL, type this in the username field, type secret sauce in the password field, click login button, and verify that product page is displayed. So if you see over here, username, accepted username, they have provided some sample, and we have password also to log in into this web page. All right. So now let's do one thing. Let's run it. So what you have to do, you have to use npx cypress open command. So it will open this. Now click end-to-end testing from here. Let's select Chrome browser. And from here, let's select our test case. So my test name is logintest.cy.js. So let's click on logintest.cy.js. And now you see over here the magic happening, in which you will see automatically it took you to this web page. Enter your username, enter the password, and clicked on that login button and verified. No assertions, no get command, no type command, only natural plain English prompt. All right. And the most interesting part about here is if you click on code, you can see the code also which is generated. So you can use this, you can copy and save to replace cy.prompt for static test, or you can continue using cy.prompt. Right? It's up to you in case you want to get the code. So it's super easy. Even your product owner, product manager in your organization, they can also write the test case by using cy.prompt. So with cy.prompt, they have reduced dependency on the testers or the developers who are using it. Now everyone can contribute to it. But the main thing which you have to consider is about your prompt. So your prompt should be very clear. If the prompt is vague or not clear, you may not be able to see the expected result from this Cypress test. So you need to carefully consider about prompt. Like I said, this is an example of good versus poor prompt. So in poor prompt, what we have mentioned, go to profile, click button, type name, type email, save, check success. So here if you see, click which button, right? This is not clear. This is very vague. But in good prompt, in this example, if you see, visit this URL, click the edit button, type this particular name in the name field, type this, it is very clear, it is very specific and actionable. So make sure the prompts are clear over here. All right. Now let's talk about some limitation. Cy.prompt is incredibly powerful, which we have seen now, but it's also important to understand what it can do and what it cannot do, especially since it's currently in experimental release. So number one limitation, you must have Cypress Cloud account. This is important for the AI communication. So you need to make sure you have the Cypress Cloud account. All right. Number two limitation. Component testing is not yet supported. At the moment, only end-to-end test cases are supported. Number three, only Chromium browsers are supported. That means Chrome, Edge, and Electron. Firefox and WebKit are currently not supported with this CY.prompt. Number four, language support. As I mentioned earlier, CY.prompt is optimized for English prompt. So other languages are not guaranteed to work over here. So since this is an experimental mode, there are some additional limitations also. For example, not dot exist assertion. This is not supported. Assertions on multiple elements. It is not fully supported yet. And you can't clear cookies or sessions using cy.prompt. I will suggest you to give it a try. So if you found this tutorial helpful, please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. And thank you for watching AV Automation Hub, and I will see you in the next video.